Yo,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on?
what's up?
What's going on, man? Just saw the thing about the balloons again. Every day is a different story with this thing. What do you think, man? Is it
Don't have a clue anymore. Apparently, it looks like there's private companies are, you know, putting on unidentified objects in the sky,
but it
and
doesn't make any sense.
yeah, I know, but how can the United States and Canada not be aware of something like this? Like there's private companies that are actually, you know putting these things up in the in the sky,
It doesn't make any
sky
sense.
high, that no one can reach them. It's by radar. They could see, they could detect them, but I have no clue how come it took so long, and had three unidentified objects flying over Canada and the US. It doesn't make any more sense. And then also, finding excuses and accusing the other countries, or you know um, spying on us or whatever. It's I don't know.
It just doesn't make any sense. He said that it might be just people playing around or something, or I don't get it.
That's like I said before. They should know who are these private companies that are actually doing that for for the weather or for anything, or but yet it's still all up in the air, and no one knows what's going on. And the president of the United States, Joe Biden, came back on again, and he's trying to, I don't know, cover up so many. I don't understand them anymore. It's
When you first heard it, what did you think?
I don't believe in UFOs, so you could forget about that. That's out of the question. And unidentified objects, uh, it, I didn't believe that China could, send something and go right through, you know, where you're not. I mean, they're not allowed. Is there's a barrier, in Alaska there, whatever, or wherever, there's they do, and there's radars, and they detect these things. So I don't believe it was anything that comes from China or from any other countries, but yet I thought it was just an experiment from these private companies, that I believe. They're doing some work, some updates or something more sophisticated, up in the sky, and where we can detect, the weather better, and also, earthquakes, or whatever, natural disaster, and up in the up on Earth, and in outer space. That's what I think.
Yeah, why did they wait so long before shooting it down? Then
I don't have a clue, because there were, I don't know. I mean, I know it took quite a few. I don't know if it was quite a few weeks or quite a few days, but apparently it they wanted to make sure that, I mean, first of all, uh, they thought there was a threat. Okay, so that's why they shut them down. There was a threat for Canada and U.S.
right?
But shooting it down, and not knowing, the aftermath. I mean, it could explode up in the sky, yeah, but it could have done really big damage, because underneath you got flight passenger flights, planes that are, going through. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's not a small object. It's a big freaking mama object that falls from the sky. So if you got a plane that's just coming right through there, it would have hit it.
Yeah, but it was at a
Because
different altitude.
yeah, it's a different attitude and altitude, and but also it's in Alaska, so it's not too bad. But the other two that they detected, and they destroy them. You got to be careful where they're gonna fall, and how. Yeah, will they fall at sea, or will they fall at somebody's house? Meteorites, they fall in people's homes, and people get killed, or they fall on and anywhere, and the people got killed. So all these things have to be and taken with precaution, at the very, very, very beginning. But they didn't think. They just went up there and bang, 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 and they start shooting them down, and yet they don't even know to who they belong to. You know,
Let
it's
me let me play the clip from Biden earlier. It's about 6 minutes long,
yeah.
but half the time you can't even understand what he's saying. He's reading something, obviously.
Well, listen. He's getting very old. Okay, he's old. Okay,
Yeah,
and
but you're a president. You got to make sense what
yeah.
you're
Oh
saying, man.
yes, yes, I know. But he's getting old. He's he's having a hard time. Okay, with pronunciation, and reading out of a script. I understand, but yet at some point it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make it. I mean, this is not his first interview. I mean, a lot of interviews, it just doesn't make any sense. Let's
Okay,
see.
well let's see what he had to say.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
let's
Go
see what he had
ahead.
to say.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But you see, again, he keeps mumbling and stumbling. He doesn't know what he's saying, and you can see he's reading it. He's reading
Well,
it from a teleprompter.
like I mentioned it to you before, he cannot just shoot it down, and there's people living at the bottom there, and it's gonna fall on people's head.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, but I'm saying, why does he keep stumbling every time? He keeps
I
mumbling and stumbling.
he's kind of old, and he's trying his best to keep up with what he's reading in there.
Let's
But
continue here.
it's obvious that I'm pretty sure it's their equipment. It's just that they don't know who's the company that has keeping these equipment visible, and they're probably not supposed to be so visible. They're supposed to be invisible. So I think it's all the Americans' equipment.
But you see, he said he's protecting the country, but then he was saying it's not even from China. So what is he protecting you from?
It's not from China. It's not from any other country that he thinks that's a threat. Okay, it's no threat.
So where did they get the idea that it came from China? Because right from the beginning, they blamed China right away.
Yeah,
Where did
and
they come to this conclusion?
then China came back and said, "Well, you know what? You're doing the same to us, okay?" And it really wasn't true. They said it was false. The Americans said it was false, and now they're turning around and they're saying, "Hey, you know what? That it's not Chinese invading us. It's something that we don't know. It's unidentified yet, and but it's coming from some you know private companies, and I really don't know what's going on. I really don't know. Kind
But
of weird.
again,
Kind of really weird. It's very, very weird.
what I'm saying is, why did they say it came from China?
But like I explained it to you, they think because with China, I mean, there's always a big, huge competition. You know that they compete with weapons, and they want to, superpower. They want to be. They want to be always on top, the Americans, and they think China is leading the way and trying to find ways to, invade.
But then why didn't they blame them then? Why did they quickly say it's not?
It's because they came. China came to them and said, "You are invading our our space too. And you're sending the equipment to us too, and to spy on us too. So so very quickly they said no, 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 and so now they're trying to hide it, that it's not coming from China. So it's this these two superpowers are just playing around with the words. But
See, he sounds like he's scared. You see the way he's talking?
yeah,
He's
because
scared.
there's no conflict but competition, and we do know where the balloons fly over in the world that come from China. They do know, they do detect, they know everything. The Americans, it's just that now they're saying, well, it's not China's balloon, blah blah blah, because China spoke and said, "Hey, you have balloons over us, over our country too, above us too, and you're invading us too, So it's like a type of it is a conflict, but he's saying it's a competition. So
It's going in circles like a balloon, really.
that's right. It's like a balloon. It's going in.
Yeah. Now you're going to notice if they're going to ask him questions. He's not going to answer very many, maybe a couple, but he even has attitude when he's asked because he
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
know what to answer.
for, for
Because
sure,
a lot of people are saying this is a distraction.
of course.
So what say you? Is it a distraction?
Well, let's hear it, because I just heard it once. I just saw it once.
Okay, check it. Check
And
it out. At the end, what did he say? Something about Poland? What was Poland?
well, it's because um, if the war in Ukraine, the let's say the Russians win.
Yeah, but that's not Poland.
No, no, just listen to me, and I'll explain you. If your Russia, okay, the invasion wins the war, the next invasion will be Poland, even though it belongs to NATO. Because the Soviet Union wants to be Putin, whatever his name is, Vladimir. There, he wants to start over the Soviet Union, the Communist Party. And you remember in the past, the Communist Party, Russia had all of Eastern Europe. Okay, so if he's capable and wins the war in Ukraine, the next step, the next move will be Poland. So this is what the guy is saying, that if you were, you're telling me it's competition. This is, but you're conflicting already. You know that the Russians are with China, which I don't believe, because it is with nobody. China is so big, and China is so superpower, doesn't need other countries to be with them. Allies like the United States. But yet I see that this guy, President Biden, Joe Biden, is just trying to run away from what he said. These balloons probably are, and not coming from China, but they are equipment that are flying over our country and over the U.S. and eventually they do fly out everywhere in the world, and there's a it's an equipment that it's a company, private company, and they didn't know about these ones, and they shut them down. You know. So
Well, I found that interesting, especially the last part, how he
yeah,
just
well, last part these,
veered from what he was talking about.
if it was President Trump, okay, Donald Trump, he would respond to everyone, the questions, and because he gets to the bottom of everything. Donald Trump, him, he tries to avoid, and he gets into trouble. At the end, he got himself into trouble because the people want to know. There's a lot of questions to be said, and a lot of questions to be answered, and he doesn't answer them.
Do you think it's ever going to come out? He's going to say what he meant to say there at the end? Because people had questions for him.
Oh no, no, no! I don't think so because I mean, it took it took what 2 3 weeks to go up there and call Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and get this settled. And
Yeah, but Trudeau did it in a day. This guy took almost 4 days.
yes, I'm just trying to say that it doesn't take 2 3 weeks to see that. Hey, what are these unidentified objects and balloons flying over our countries? Uh, that doesn't make any freaking sense. If I was the president, right away I would say, guys, okay, don't shoot it where it's where people live, or just be careful and shoot it down at sea, and then we could recover all the objects, because when they fall at sea, they float. They don't go down. Some of them float, some of them go down, but they don't really break as if they fall on people's homes or people's yards, or in the streets or whatever. But yet, I find that at the very very end, it's this is Joe Biden. He doesn't take his time to explain that there's other steps that we're gonna take, and we're gonna see, and but up to now, there's they cannot say it's China. They did, but then when China fought back and said, "Hey, you know what? You're doing the same," and blah blah blah, and bang, he stopped. You know,
Let's catch the tail end of it one more time, and then we might take some calls. So just let's hear this one more time here at the end,
sure,
and then if people have questions for us, we'll help them out.
yes, of course.
I'm going to move him all down because he doesn't have any clue what we're talking about here. I don't understand
Yeah, go ahead with someone else. Go.
what's the point of putting that on there.
No,
Why would you call in if you don't know anything about it?
that's
I mean, sometimes we have open chat. You can chat about whatever, but right now the discussion says right on the stream, right? How does the guy not know what we're talking about?
well, like I said, we know because we're living in the country, and
But what does he want to hear? Just his own voice or something, or what?
uh,
Anyways, let's catch the tail end of it again. You see, he even said he's going to speak to the leader in China. I don't think so, because that's not a good idea, especially since 2 days ago, the Iranian prime minister went to visit China, and Iran and China are tight. They're tight.
uh, yes, I don't say no, but like I said, China doesn't need other allies.
No,
China's
definitely not.
big. China's very strong. China.
China can take care of themselves.
That's right. So Iranians, or the Russians, or what's the other ones that are with Afghanistan and whatever. Uh, I don't believe these people actually need China, but China doesn't need them. I don't.
I still don't understand what was the guy's point to come on and not have a clue what he's talking about.
That's why I was saying. I said, do you know that there was, unidentified objects flying over Canada and U.S.
But this is all over the world. It's happening. I don't know how this guy has no clue.
and then Lake Huron,
So he
and
hasn't heard anything.
yeah,
It's all over the world. It's not just here.
no, it's the whole world knows.
So I don't understand what his problem was. Anyways, check it out. His face. He's like he's got a headache or something. He can't listen to two people at one time. Did you see his face? Look at this.
Because he knows that he's
Oh,
not,
he's like-
Sir, there's been criticism.
he's not gonna apologize to that the balloon has been shut down.
Yeah, but right here. Look, it's the two people are talking, and then give me a break, man. He said.
A smile to one, and then he's giving.
But he can't
That
hear.
was done because
He said you can come to my office and ask a question where we have more polite people. That's
Yeah.
what he said.
Yeah.
Lavaka guy.